What is going on, you guys? Blaze here at Blue Chip Athletic Club with another intro video for you guys talking through nutrition and the fundamentals of energy balance. So, real quick, I'm sure you've been asking the question, or someone has asked you the question before, what is the best diet? It's a question that's kind of as old as time, right? I'm sure you got friends that have said, hey, I've lost, X amount of pounds on keto, paleo, plant-based, carnivore. And with the overabundance of information on the internet, it's really tough to decide kind of what's best for you and to sift through all the noise. So I want to kind of try and hammer some of that stuff out here in this video for you guys. The real answer, which is for better for worse, is that it depends. There is no best diet because everyone is different. Your unique situation requires a unique approach that's going to be personalized to you. So that's why you're going to be working with your coach in a very tactful way to make sure you're able to figure out the best diet for you based on evidence-based decision making over time as you move through your program. So, when we do that, I'm going to ask you, or your coach is going to ask you to do a couple of different things. One, I want you to think about some foods that you enjoy. This would be like, hey, non-negotiable things. For myself, I really love a bowl of cereal for dessert is kind of like my go-to thing that I like. I like donuts. So think about these types of foods that you enjoy that you would not want to stop eating, and things that you can kind of incorporate into your diet throughout your journey. Another thing, think about some foods that you dislike. Maybe you hear that a certain type of yogurt is really healthy, but you tried it and you didn't enjoy it. So think about these types of things as well, because that'll help you and your coach kind of find a strategy that works best for you. The next thing I want you to do is think about the way that food has made you feel in the past, and that can be from an emotional standpoint, whether that's guilty or shameful after you eat a certain type of meal or a certain way. It could also be, that the food made you happy, that it made you bloated, made you sick, gave you some gas, kind of whatever. A little bit of introspection that I kind of want you to have. And the whole reason that I'm doing this is because nutrition in general is a behavior, it's not a skill. If nutrition was a skill, we'd all have it down pat and be able to eat kind of however we want. And I'll have six pack abs from the time that we were babies, right? But at the end of the day, the difference between this baby and you is that understanding that your nutritional behavior is that it's just a behavior. It's not a skill because you learn to chew and swallow and eat when you're a super young kid. The reason that not everybody has six packs abs is because it's super hard, right? Understanding your relationship with food and the behaviors that surround them is much more difficult to analyze over the course of your life because it takes a lot of this. It takes a lot of introspection. Your coach, if aren't doing this work, your coach can prescribe to you the perfect diet for you. Let's say, the stars align and they have a picture into your genetic makeup and they're able to kind of write the most picturesque diet for you to make you the next Usain Bolt if that's your, goal. But if you still emotionally eat from a place of shame or guilt, or you don't have a good understanding of the why behind what you're eating, you will never have that lasting change over time. And that's what we want you to do. We want you to be able to have that lasting change, eat intuitively, and then find a really great way towards your goals without having to meticulously track yourself along the way. Okay, so what now? If you haven't done so already, I need you to go back into the onboarding section and watch the video on the Nutrition Pro Coach intake form. This will kind of help guide the discussion with your coach as you kind of start to attack your nutritional behavior together. But before you schedule your check-in or even after the fact, it's okay if you've already done so. I want to talk a little bit about energy balance and calories and what that exactly entails. So, what is energy balance? Energy balance is the relationship between calories in or calories out. Calories being a form of energy that we get from the food that we consume, food or drinks that we consume. Because unfortunately for you and I, beer has calories in it as well. So, if you're somebody who wants to lose weight over the course of the time, maybe you join this program and you're like, hey, I decided I want to try and lose 10 pounds. For you to do that, you're going to have to put your body into what's called a caloric deficit or calorie deficit. That's how you're going to lose weight over time. And what I want you to also think of is, hey, we're on this balance beam of this scale here, tipping the scale. This balance point here is what I'm going to call your maintenance calories limit. So this right here is going to be maintenance calories, and that would be, straight across, even on either side whenever you're going through your energy balance equation. In this case, let's say calories in is going to be the red side over here on the left. If your calories in outweigh your calories out, that means that you're over time going to put on mass or put on weight. And the opposite is true as well. If your calories out now outweigh your calories in, so imagine now the yellow side is down really low, then that means you're going to lose weight over time. And I kind of break that down in the next couple slides. So, if you don't know what your maintenance calories are, a really good tool for that is going into the total daily energy expenditure calculation, which again is in the onboarding section of this training material. You can go through that. It'll go through step by step how to kind of implement that into your program and then make progress moving forward. So, really important that you kind of have a great idea of how that kind of works together. And the way to do that is to go in and complete your own unique total daily energy expenditure calculation if you have not done that already. Whew. Okay. Just so you know, too, that total daily energy expenditure calculation is going to be exactly that. It's going to be a ballpark estimate. It's not going to be something that's going to give you exact data for your body. If you eat that way to a T, genetics, activity level, a lot of these other factors will come into play, as well as your ability to estimate how much you're actually eating is going to be something that's going to be super important to understand. So realize that this is just going to get us in the ballpark. It's not going to be a perfect solution. So let's say you're in the other camp and you want to gain weight. Putting on weight is going to be done by putting your body into a caloric surplus. So this is where you're taking in more calories than you're expending over time. And at the end of the day, for us to kind of get a good idea of how to tackle that, I like to use a total daily energy expenditure calculation as an estimate. Or if you've already gone through the precision nutrition calculator, we can use that as well. And that's something that your coach will do with you upon your intake call for nutrition stuff. So, how long does it take? The and I know I kind of am hating giving this answer to all these questions, but unfortunately, it's the right answer, and that's it. It depends. Think back. What I want you to do, though, and most phases of health and wellness, and the it depends answer may be frustrating, but I want you to think back and ask yourself, how long did it take for you to gain or lose the weight that you're interested in shifting? So let's say you gained, 20 pounds. Did you gain all that weight over time or in one night? Did you like wake up one day and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm 20 pounds heavier. I've got more, fat that's visible around my midsection, around my face. Um, or, the opposite. So let's say that you were in a really big, gym phase back in the day and you now lost 15 pounds of muscle. Did you lose that all in the blink of an eye? I mean, obviously the answer is no to both of those, right? So realize that this goal is going to be something that's going to take a little bit of time. It's going to take effort. It's going to take energy, just like you can't put on, 20 pounds of weight overnight. You can't take it off just the same. So, I want to kind of highlight that and talk through one of my favorite analogies to use, and it's people want microwave results in a crock pot world. So we live in a crock pot world where it's going to be low and slow and steady wins the race. And at the end of the day, you're not going to be able to just throw yourself, i.e., or your health journey into a microwave, click 1 minute, and then have it be ready to rock. If that was the case, again, everyone would be millionaires with six-pack abs and also be able to, move the exact way that they want after taking a quick over-the-counter medication. And if you find a way to do that, please cut me in on it. I will invest. All right. The next thing I want to do is talk about if we're able to dial in your program correctly and you, more importantly, show the consistency that's expected and required for you to make progress. These are some metrics that we can kind of look at for your ability to lose weight over time. Primarily, if you're somebody that's looking for weight loss is going to be super, applicable for you. But if you're in the extreme weight loss category, you'd be losing, 1 to 1.5% of your body weight per week. So just making sure that you're understanding that that's going to be per week. For men, that can be about 2 to 3 pounds. For women, that can be about 1.5 to 2.5 pounds. Reasonable level is going to be half or 1% of your body weight for 1 to 2 pounds a week for men, or 0.8 to 1.6 pounds for women. And then comfortable is going to be less than half of a percent of body weight for less than a pound, or less than 0.8 pounds for women. So realize that the most important thing to take from this entire chart isn't even on the top, it's on the bottom. Quantifying these results is going to be super, super important. So realistically, if you are in an extreme category, you want to have an extreme amount of weight loss per week, you're going to need to be 90 to 100% consistent in your practices that you're working on. So whether that's adding vegetables to your diet, whether that's eating a certain macronutrient split that you decide with your coach, whether that's not overeating, whether that's eating towards your goal, whatever that kind of becomes, you need to be incredibly, incredibly consistent so that you can have that happen over time. Reasonable, a reasonable level of consistency is going to be, 70 to 85%. You're still being relatively consistent, but you're somebody that, you have a quote unquote cheat meal or two, or you have a day where you kind of, I don't want to say go off the rails, but you're not as motivated or you're not as dialed in. And then again, comfortably is going to be about half the week, a little bit more than half the week or half of your days. You're pretty consistent. So just to give you a little idea of kind of how to run through this, is going to be a really effective table for you moving forward. Okay, so this is a lot. You're right. It is a lot. There's a ton to learn in the world of energy expenditure, in the world of, um, making sure that your balance is looking the way that you want it to, whether that's maintenance calories to not gain or lose any weight, or you're trying to lose weight or gain weight. But at the end of the day, what I want you to do is be left with these two small tips that have reformed the health of so many that have come before you in this program, and then personal friends of mine as well throughout their health and wellness journey. So, a couple great starting points for you that I'm going to leave you with. Okay. First one, think about nutrition from a place of abundance versus scarcity. So what does that mean? Think about things that you can add to your diet instead of subtract. Maybe that's you add one green veggie per day, or maybe you add a handful of fruits as you walk out the door in the morning, or berries as you walk out the door in the morning. What this does is it basically allows your brain to be cued into an abundance mindset versus a scarcity mindset. And it really helps you on the way to whatever, whether that's a weight gain or weight loss journey or body recomposition, kind of whatever you're looking to do. So again, think about abundance, not scarcity. Number two, think about something small that you can swap or substitute that's a mildly healthier choice. Now, I'm not saying like, hey, you used to eat Burger King and now you need to eat green beans and asparagus all day. That's not really what I'm saying. An easy example for this is that, and it'll save you a ton of money, is that instead of having soda or a cocktail when you go out to eat, just order a water. I mean, that's a really, really simple thing that you can do to make a shift in the right direction. And it's going to be something that your body thanks you for over time. So that's all I have for you guys today. Let me know if you have any questions, and we'll see you guys in the next video later.